apartment basement.
Yeah, so essentially, well, what happened, the center portion are basements, and that's used for common utility areas.
Yep.
For all the units, so all the hot water tanks. And then that was sort of a request from the county in terms of.
And joining us today to help renew our collective commitment in achieving our redevelopment goal is Ryan Turnbull.
Well, hello everyone, and thanks for having me here today. As was mentioned, I'm the Member of Parliament for Whitby, but I'm very grateful to be here for today's event. It's an important one. Before I go any further, we have already acknowledged the land that we're on, and it's unceded territory, and so I just would echo those remarks and thank you for that land acknowledgement. We have an important announcement here today, folks. It's important to this community, and my colleague, the Honourable Ahmed Hussain, Minister of Housing, Diversity and Inclusion, wasn't able to be here, but he sends his very best. It's great to be here alongside Minister Piccini, Warden Bob Crate, Jill Brocanier, and all our partners who advocate for a strong and inclusive housing sector in Cobourg, the County of Northumberland, and the Province of Ontario. All of us here today, I think, share the same goal, which is to ensure that everyone in Cobourg and the surrounding region has a safe and affordable place to call home. And as we set the stage for an inclusive recovery from COVID-19, we know that housing is more important than ever. That's why I'm pleased to officially announce a joint investment of nearly $8 million to help turn 18 semi-detached homes into a series of 4-plex and 6-plex buildings between 265 and 327 Elgin Street East. This project will help create a total of 40 housing units, with 22 new ones being added to the stock, which will benefit low-income households looking for affordable rental options. So today's announcement is a great example of all orders of government working together alongside one another, hand in hand, to ensure that these investments land on the ground here in your community. This investment includes $2.4 million in federal funding through the National Housing Co-Investment Fund, which is part of the National Housing Strategy. And in addition, another $5.7 million is invested through the Canada-Ontario Community Housing Initiative, which is a program that's cost shared between the federal and the provincial governments. Federal funding for this project came from the National Housing Strategy, which is a 10-year plan backed by more than $72 billion in investments. Those investments are historical because there weren't investments in housing for almost 3 decades. So in these, we know, are strengthening our middle class, fueling our economy, and giving more Canadians a place to call home. I've personally made 7 announcements, 4 in my community, several in Oshawa, and a number east of Whitby and Oshawa, which is great. You know, it's great to see these investments landing on the ground, and I know the minister has been busy making announcements weekly across the country. So it's great to see. We know that Canadians are working hard to overcome the impacts of the pandemic, and our government is here to give them the support they need to meet those challenges head on. And I know that the National Housing Strategy has been being implemented for several years now, and it's making progress. There's over 500,000 Canadians today that have a place to call home as a result of those efforts. But there's also a suite of additional supports that have been included in Budget 2022, whether it's investments in cooperative housing, the Housing Accelerator Fund, which is working with municipalities to speed up the process of development, or a tax-free savings account for first-time home buyers, or the rent-to-own options that we're offering. There's quite a number of additional measures that are going to aid in tackling the issues and being there for people who are struggling with housing affordability issues. So before I hand it over, I just want to thank everyone again for their advocacy and their work. It takes a whole community to build these kinds of projects, and I want to wish you my very best and the future, especially the future residents for this project who will soon have a place to call home. So thank you very much. Merci, miigwech.
Thank you very much, Gil. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. First, I'd like to thank MP Turnbull for taking the time to come down and join us here today. It's wonderful to be with all of you, MP Lawrence, Warden Crate, and Gil, thank you for your leadership here as chair of the board. Greatly appreciate that. And to staff for all the work you do to realize this park, Elgin Park redevelopment. It's so critical for our community. We know in today's day and age with affordability challenges the way they are, everybody really yearns for a place to call home, the dignity of a roof over someone's head, a place to call home. It's so important now more than ever. And I'm glad that all levels of government can work together to realize this potential, to make this possible. I mean, we're here, not too many months have passed since Minister Steve Clark joined me here with then PA, I believe, Adam Vaughan, a number of months ago to announce the $5.7 million investment through the Canada Ontario Housing Co-Investment Fund. And to be here today for this additional investment speaks to the incredible work being done by Northumberland County and of course the men and women in the skilled trades through Dalrin. Thank you very much, Matt, for being here today. It's wonderful to see local contractors involved in this pivotal and seminal development for our community. I know it's been challenging the past number of years, so again, kudos to everybody for overcoming the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and associated realities. And to everybody who get up each and every day to look after the most vulnerable in our community, for so many who want to realize attainable, affordable housing in our community, this is going to unlock that potential for so many, and I'm glad to see as well truly attainable units, accessible units as well. This is pivotal. This is why ultimately we serve to look after the people we represent in our communities, and working collaboratively, great things happen. I know the challenging time as service system manager the county's been dealing with through the pandemic. Province has worked closely with the county, over $6 million in SSRF funding to support, and for for the people who will one day call this place home. We've had the opportunity to join each other in the past for these announcements. I can't wait. I mean, this is exciting to see, talking with local architect as well, on what's going to happen here. So again, to all of you who've put time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into this, thank you for what you're doing. This is an exciting time for our community and an exciting time for the people who will one day walk on this land and call this place home. So again, thank you all for having me here today. Thank you, David.
I wasn't sure what to do. I went to the AMO conference last week and didn't take a jacket, and obviously should have, I think, after I was at a few different spots. But thanks, Gil, very much, and thanks to Minister Piccini, MP Turnbull, and also to our MP, Philip Lawrence, for joining us today. It's great to work in a partnership that benefits all the individuals. With this investment, Northumberland County and the Northumberland County Housing Corporation can continue to confidently move forward with plans to expand the community's overall housing supply and continue to carry out the recommendations of the county's affordable housing strategy. Affordable housing is a critical issue in Northumberland County and across Ontario. The need for purpose-built rental units in Northumberland is at an all-time high, with close to 1,000 households on the community housing wait list. This additional investment of $2.4 million will have a significant positive impact on people in our community who need it the most. Our strategy commits us, along with the support of the county government, Canadian and Ontario governments, to leverage new tools and strategies to encourage the development of additional rental units and expand the range of affordable and attainable housing options for our community. Mr. Turnbull, with the government's assistance, we can continue to make progress. Thank you. I want to take a moment to talk about this initiative. Earlier this year, we broke ground on Elgin Park redevelopment to increase the number of subsidized and market rental housing units at this location from 18 to 40. In addition to 12 attainable market rental units, there will be 28 subsidized affordable units, an increase of 10 over the previous availability on this site. These plans will involve the construction of 4 new 10-unit buildings, including 8 fully accessible units, along with 14 one-bedroom units, which will address the highest waitlist demand. The construction of the first of the 4 buildings is well underway, and with the second one soon to follow, I'm happy to report that the development remains on schedule with the first 20 units to be ready for next summer in 2023, and also the development remains on budget. I repeat, we will be on budget and on time. Before we conclude, I want to express my gratitude to Gil and the board at NCHC and the county staff for the exceptional leadership being shown with the important development. Thank you on behalf of council, and you do make our community accessible for all, and I thank you very much. I just might add that you all know that David got married 2 weeks ago, and he spent his honeymoon at the EMO conference in Ottawa. His wife was overly excited to be there. Thank you.
What a lovely bunch of fellas.
Okay, this camera over here, please.
It's your guy.
That's a lot of them.
Good. Okay, this camera over here, everyone.
4 bedrooms. We also have between all of the 40 units, as we mentioned, 8 accessible units, which would be on main floor only. There are, as you can see, basements and in some of the areas, so that's really just for storage and for mechanical use, and the living spaces are on the 1st and 2nd floor of the units. So this phase, we started construction in January of this year, and we are and we're really looking forward to the completion in next summer and seeing how things progress over the next few months. Delrent's doing an excellent job of keeping the site moving forward, and